It seems like this season, whenever CSK win, we invariably end up talking about one man. And no, I'm not talking about MS Dhoni, though we will get to him because those seems to be the rules of the internet. The man I'm talking about is Shivam Dube, who scored his second 50 last night and has been striking at more than 160 this whole season. I mean, he's had just one off innings till now. Now, we've talked about this earlier, Ayaz. Do you think it's the way Chennai use him that makes him shine, or do you think he's suited enough to be in that World Cup squad, or do you need to see him bowl as
No,
well?
I think it's a combination of factors. Obviously, since he's gone to CSK, he's just become a player transformed. In the past couple of seasons, last season and this season, he is almost unrecognizable as the batsman who was so vulnerable against the short pitch delivery, so inconsistent. He was actually seen more of a bowler than a batsman. Somebody who would bowl and then come in and knock the ball around a bit, and that was it. But this season, as he showed in the previous season, he's got the repertoire of big strokes that can destroy the bowling, the opponent's bowling. So I think he's been used judiciously. His role has been clarified. I think that much is very clear as to what he's supposed to go there and do. And I think the fact that he's being sent higher to bat, he's not batting at 6 and 7. He's not being seen as a finisher. He's being seen as the builder of an innings. To bat like that, then the partnership with Ruturaj Gaikwad, which gave Chennai the total to put pressure on Mumbai and subsequently win. I think Shivam Dube has come across as somebody who is enjoying the success. He's loving the challenge, and he's just shown a completely, brilliant and exciting facet to his cricketing abilities.
Yeah. And yeah, now we come to MS Dhoni, who scored 20 runs off 4 balls, and to quote Ravi Shastri, finished it off in style. Now, we know he's an intelligent man and he knows his limitations, and that's why he must have chosen this ploy of playing a handful of deliveries as and when needed. But even so, do you think he should bat higher?
To be honest, and I must, put my hand on my heart and confess here, I thought that actually MS Dhoni is perhaps being, giving in to populism, in the sense that everywhere he goes, there's a clamor, Dhoni, Dhoni, please come and bat. Even if it just means making an appearance, everybody's happy. So, which is very good for the brand, not just brand Dhoni or brand CSK, but also for the IPL. However, having seen, and I was at the 1K day, 20, the margin of victory for CSK was 20 runs. That's exactly the number of runs Dhoni made. And he made it. You see, what happens when you play like this? It's not a 50 or a 60 like Ruturaj or Shivam Dube did, or even a 100 that Rohit Sharma, came up with a special 100, which couldn't win him the match. Now, but when somebody like a Dhoni comes in the last over, gives that run boost, 20 run boost, it's not just the quantity of runs that matters, but it's also what happens to the team when they're going in at the break. You suddenly feel that you got to chase that many more runs. I remember it happened with Romario Shepherd playing for Mumbai the other day when he came in and blasted some 27, 28 runs of the last over, and RCB were kind of, they didn't know what the hell to do. So I think that Dhoni increasingly, and there's nobody who understands his own strengths and limitations better than MSD. I think he senses that he's got the game, the ability to optimize the opportunities for 8, 10, 12, 15 deliveries. He's not the guy who will come in like in a Shivam Dube's place and play for 60, 70 deliveries. That's not his game now. That's not the target of the franchise. And I think he's doing it exceptionally well. So in the next match, if there's a clamor for Dhoni to come out and bat, I'm not going to say, oh, why should we want Dhoni? That's a populistic gesture. I think, no, this guy can actually do something and help his team win.
Yeah. And so moving on from Dhoni, we move on to the guy he hit 3 sixes against, which is Hardik Pandya. Now, it seemed like Mumbai were off and running after 2 consecutive wins, but then they ran into CSK. So do you think those 2 wins were a false dawn, or do you think they have things in order and this game against CSK was just a blip?
No, I thought the 2 wins were very impressive. Of course, remember, both came at the 1K day, and the defeat has also come at the 1K day. But this is a very significant match, or was CSK versus Mumbai. CSK hadn't won anything away from their own bastion, which is Chepauk. So for them to win an away match, and not just win an away match, it's against, again, against 5 times former champions, and at the 1K day was a big jump. The points are valuable, but psychologically, can you imagine what it does to the Chennai team? And conversely, Mumbai, who I thought looked good to run, to win 4, 5 matches, 6 matches on the trot, now suddenly have been kind of put the brakes put on them. So they have to recast their plans, rediscover, their winning ways, so to speak, again. they've got a lot of things that you could look back and say were positive from this match. I mean, Rohit Sharma's form, breathtaking 100 in many ways. Uh, Bumrah, he didn't get a wicket in that match, but he bowled quite superbly. And then they've got a support cast which is fantastic amongst batsmen Tilak Verma, Hardik Pandya himself, Ishan Kishan, Tim David. I mean, Mumbai can be unstoppable, or so it seemed till they ran into CSK. So there's some hard work ahead for Mumbai.
Yep. So since the last we spoke, we saw a dominant win by KKR at home. We saw another surprise nail biter from Punjab Kings, and we saw LSG losing 2 games on the bounce. So we've seen KL Rahul try to amp it up in the last 2 games. But do you think Lucknow need to be worried at this point?
Yes, I think both LSG as well as Punjab Kings, they've shown a little promise. They've shown, I mean, LSG more than Punjab maybe, but I don't think that they've got uh, the heft in terms of the roundedness of the team and the kind of players who will win you matches consistently, and also self belief. I think it boils down to that. If you lose close matches, I mean, we saw even Rajasthan. They won a cliffhanger and lost a cliffhanger in the last week. So that is the nature of T20. But in a long run tournament like this, if you run out of steam more regularly than you win matches, then it's going to be a problem. And that seems to be getting to be a problem for both Punjab as well as Lucknow.
Yeah. And lastly, we'll sort of wrap up this episode here, but I do need to tell people that today is a match that RCB desperately needs to win, and I don't know, mathematically they might still be in, but a lot of people are saying that the season is already over. We'll wait for this one more match and we'll talk about it the next episode, and we'll bring you the updates from the other teams as well. So that's it for this episode of Sports Room. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Anirudh. Take care.